All right, welcome to the Live Beyond Average,
the podcast,
episode number 2. And we are actually just post Murph about 10 minutes here.
Yep, about 10 minutes post-death.
It was awful. So my first Murph I've ever done, Austin's first Murph.
First time running 2 miles total in a while.
Yeah, I doubled my mile intake this summer. I've logged 2 miles so far and we've just doubled it.
For people that make fun of me for not doing cardio, I have done cardio.
What's up, guys?
Oh my gosh.
We are live on Instagram, live on Facebook, and we are podcasting right now. Wanted to check in with everybody on podcast number 2 here. On podcast 1, we talked a lot about self-awareness and that auditing ourselves.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about reliving a lot of that in this Murph was a great mental challenge for me, I know.
Yep, myself as well.
I mean, it's funny because we were using some chalk pieces out front here on the driveway for every single round, and we did 20 rounds. So we ran our mile, and then we broke up the 100 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and 300 squats into 20 sets of 5, 10, 15.
Yep.
And
we did something a little different too with our rounds. We wanted to make sure that like every pull-up was as strict as possible, and I know the big thing is just getting it done. But since we didn't have weighted vests, we didn't want to cheat out anything, so we wanted to try to make it a little harder then on that point. And man, that made a difference. Seriously,
dude, it totally did. And we talked about that self-audit and self-awareness last week. And going into this, and you're putting those check marks on the concrete with the chalk, and you get to 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. And I think I got to number 12, and I stopped and I looked at you, and I'm like, dude, I can see why people quit.
Yeah,
like just in
seriously.
Anything in life, I can see why people quit, because I got to 12, and I'm like, I just thought about some of the pain that I went through on that one round on on number 12, and then I thought, I got to do that 8 more times.
Yeah, that wall.
You know what I mean? And so I hit that wall right there. And I'm like, dude, I can see why people quit. Like, because they get discouraged at that whole picture. Yeah. And they can't even envision themselves continuing through that pain to get to that end.
No, because it's a lot to do. Like, you think like 12 rounds of something, like that's a lot. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, that was a lot. I've done a lot, but I still have a lot left. And that's just like life. Like, I relate it to like if I'm working or if I'm doing something in school, it's like I have just done a lot. But, like, I still have all of this to get done by this time period. Like, we still had 8 rounds to go. And, Jordan and I were talking. It was kind of funny. The last podcast we did, we talked about, like, enjoying those little, like, successes and those wins. And it was almost like every chalk, like, every tick was just, like, a win. Like, we were just appreciating that one victory that we got that round done.
The patience had to kick in.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? If you kept looking at that need to get to 20, it was super discouraging. So it was just like every time I got to go over there and mark that little check, that check mark with the chalk on the concrete was just like I had to use that as that little motivator. And then thankfully we each have some friends right now that are overseas.
Yep.
That I tried to use this workout, this hour of suckage, to escape our little reality that we have in our safe haven here.
Yep.
And try to escape it and think about the actual reality that our service members go through.
Yeah, they do stuff like that in gear. I mean, it's
96 degrees outside right now.
And here. It's hotter where they're at, and they're going through so much more. And so, you're right. It is nice to have that in the back of your head. Like, okay, this sucks, but like, there's people going through so much worse.
Exactly. So I was trying to use it as an escape of reality.
Yeah, same.
And so it was a great, humbling experience, actually, especially since both of our first Murphs, definitely a mental challenge for both of us. Not the way I train every single day, a bunch of days a week. So it was challenging.
Not at all. Definitely
and then
out of my comfort zone.
That second mile, dude, like Austin hit this crazy streak at like level on round 17, and I couldn't even keep up. You were like repping out those pull-ups, push-up, squats like it was nothing. Like you just hit this new energy level, and that's kind of when I hit my wall.
I think for me, it had to do with like not embarrassing myself in front of you, because I think some people know us well enough. Like my training regimen most of the time is powerlifting and bodybuilding, and I like to do some athletic stuff as well because with run to gun, that's what we do. We're athlete focused and mobile focused first. So I don't know. I was kind of like when I hit that 17, and I'm like. And our buddy, Zach, he always crushes workouts like this, so it was kind of like,
he's a beast.
I'm not I'm not going to embarrass myself, and I'm going to make sure that I earn the right to be a part of Run to Gun. And I don't know, that with also thinking about our men and women serving overseas, like, I don't know, it just got me at round 17.
It was pretty cool, man. Like, and then that last mile was tough.
Oh God, that was terrible. That was worse.
It was just that, we had to enter that. It is a good mental challenge for me. It was one of those things where I was proud of myself because no matter how slow I was going, I never stopped moving forward.
Right.
Neither of us did. And but at the same time, I'm pissed at myself because I wanted it to be faster and better. So it's like it was a good little awakener on where we're at here early in the summer for our training throughout the summer, what we use to get ready for our hunting season, our filming season that we do for the show. Just a great humbling experience, a great escape from our safe haven of reality over here.
Right.
And just a good challenge, a good remembrance, and a great day to do it on.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a beautiful day. We, did it at home. It was nice changing scenery. I mean, we usually go through our regular routine of waking up and going to the gym and doing our stuff there, but we pushed the limits a little bit. We even got out on the gravel road a little bit, which running on a gravel road in heat felt a little different for me.
Dude, yeah, it's hot day out, but just a good reminder too is just put yourself through a little bit of that suffering because, our suffering is minute compared to our service members too. So it was a great workout to do for that. So that was our biggest thing this week on our podcast. A little bit shorter one, but just touching in again on that self-awareness, that putting yourself through these little things of struggle, these little times of struggle to test your boundaries, your mental boundaries. This was a great thing for me just to test that mental boundary and to realize I'm not happy where I'm at with that physical and mental strength. A lot of us think that our mental strength's a lot more than what it is. Mm-hmm. And so when you're pushing that limit and that boundary and you're tiptoeing that line, what is the choice you're making when you're at that line? Are you stopping at that line?
Right.
Are you continuing to tiptoe it? Are you crossing over it a little bit?
Like last week we talked about self-auditing, and so a funny story about how this workout happened. It was literally late last night.
Yeah.
Jordan is like, "So you coming over to do the Murph?" I'm like,
"What's 10:30 last night?"
What's the 10:30? I'm like, "What's the Murph?" He's like, "Oh, it's easy. Don't worry about it." So I looked it up and I saw the first thing was a mile run. I'm like, yeah. But I thought about that. I was like, well, Jordan's pretty much the only person that can make me do cardio. So, and I'm not gonna say no because I'm not gonna stay in my comfort zone. I'm gonna listen to my own advice and I'm gonna audit myself. And when we talked about auditing, where I'm going with this is like, okay, let's say you've put yourself to that point where you've put yourself with new people, you've audited yourself, you got maybe rid of some stagnant people, but you moved. Like, that's great that you're around people. Are you around people that are going to push you? Because he pushes me out of my comfort zone. Like, I stay busy and he stays busy, but he still pushes me and gets me out of my comfort area. And at times I think I do the same thing for him. And I have other friends too that push me in other ways, like whether it's not just physically, it's like mentally as well, like mentally challenge me, like, maybe I don't want to read a specific book, but they're pushing me to get through that book, or we're just talking about different beliefs and different things, and it's just we're pushing each other to grow, you know what I mean? And I feel
true.
like that's
such a big part of the self-audit.
Yeah.
Is, after you've looked at yourself and where you need to be, you need to look at the people that are around you, right?
Right.
And,
absolutely.
Are they actually challenging you? Are they contacting you? Are you contacting them? And holding each other accountable. And that's really what today was about for both of us.
Yeah, because, we could have just been like he didn't have to text me. He didn't even have to do this workout. I could have been, sleeping or completely ignored the text, but it was 10:30 at night. Do you want to do this? I was going to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go through my regular routine, work out before work, and then it was it's going to be a beautiful day. We don't get to hang out as often as we used to because we're both busy. And it's the gym is going to be there tomorrow.
Exactly. Do something like this to change it up and to look at things that, actually humble your life a little bit and settle yourself in a little bit, refocus. What a great day to refocus on things that are important, the little things. So Everybody, thank you so much for joining us on the Live Beyond Average podcast number 2, a little revamp on the self-awareness, on auditing yourself and really challenging yourself and the people around you and who you're putting around you, who are you're putting yourself with,
and are they pushing you
to help accomplish your goals, and are they pushing you? Exactly. So thanks again. join us for podcast number 3. We got some cool things coming. We got some actually really neat recipes for you coming as well. Amy's got some of the Run to Gun recipes coming back.
Nice.
We did a lot of that last year, the year before, so we're bringing that back a little bit with some fun things this summer for you guys. So some cool, healthy options that you can grill out with all summer long. So,
I'm excited.
all right, thank you guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
you
guys.
tuning in.